Hey folks, I'm gonna sit down on the back porch swing and have a chat with you about this big data breach that happened that affects everybody, Social Security, etc. Stay tuned. I'm gonna talk about that and tell you the 6 points that I've developed over the last several years to protect myself. Yeah, I'm gonna share that with you. It's a homestead hack. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. We've had in the news just recently a huge data breach that's affecting billions of people. Billions. Apparently, the Social Security Administration got hacked along with other data breaches. And this has become a common thing going on, but this is probably the biggest in probably history. So I wanted to bring you guys in and share with you guys some steps that I take. There's 6 steps that I use to protect myself. Can't protect my data because it's on the computer and it is hackable. But protecting myself financially and from loss, potential loss. And then there's a couple of things that we just don't have any control over, but we can make steps to protect ourselves or to get our assets secure and safe. The first thing, point number 1, about 15 years ago, I took steps at protecting my credit. I went to the 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, checked my credit record, cleaned some stuff up that were in there that weren't mine. And what you could do is you just say, you got to send it in writing, is you find out their location. Everything's available online. You can get their addresses and a step-by-step how-to information on how and where to send this. But you've got to send it in writing, and they have so many days to correct the issue. By if you get something that is charged against you that you didn't do, then you contest it and you send it in writing, and you got to contest each point. So the reporting bureau has to submit a letter to the reporting company that's reporting you for not paying. If it truly is a fraud, they have so many days to prove that it's not you. It goes on them. They have to prove documents that it's not you. I've had to sue a multinational banking company that tried to get money from me for somebody else. Yeah, it was their debt, not mine, but they're trying to get me to pay it. So I sued them. So I took that matters in my own hand and went a different direction to help. But that they could not prove that I was responsible for that debt. And that's what you have to do, is follow those steps in writing to the credit bureaus if you have any anomalies on your report. Now you can go on to each credit bureau website, establish an account, and check for free your credit history and see if there's anything that is outstanding that you need to clear up and take care of, or if there's anything that's any anomalies that is a potential fraud. It also makes you aware that there's probably loans taken out in your name that's fraud, so you guys can check it, take steps to do that. So in addition to that step is add a credit freeze. Now, if you guys are in the habit of going out and applying for a car loan or a home loan or loans of any type, filing for, applying for credit cards and stuff, apply for a credit freeze anyway. What this does is you go online, you apply for the credit freeze, and they have to freeze your credit. And no financial institution can issue credit in your name without the I think it's like 24 letter or 24 number code that you get once you add the credit freeze, because you'll need that code to thaw your credit. My credit's been frozen for 15 years now because I just don't go out and open credit accounts. I don't need to anymore. I get into the position where I just don't use them. But to thaw your credit, you have to initiate that with that special amount of number code that they give you. So you're going to have to write that down, set it aside in a safe place, and remember where you put it. Otherwise, you just can't thaw your credit without it. And nobody else can thaw your credit without it. Or what it does is if somebody goes out and fraudulently tries to open or account in your name at another financial institute, or get a loan in your name, or get a credit card in your name, when those credit agencies, bankings, credit cards, they go in and check your credit with your social security number and other information. If there's that flag from the credit bureaus that's on there that says credit frozen, they won't issue the credit. They shouldn't be issuing credit. Otherwise, they're perpetrating and being partner with the fraud also. And you could probably take legal action against that entity who actually loans money or lends money to an individual in spite of you having that credit freeze. You could probably get action in court because that freeze is on your account and you initiated it, and they are party and part to that action. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not giving legal advice. I'm just telling you guys what I go through personally to protect myself. Point number two is once a year I go through and I change all my credit cards. I have a certain amount of credit cards that I keep, and I get new credit card numbers issued every year because chances are my credit card information has been compromised. So I do this on an annual basis because, when I do online activities such as purchasing something from Amazon, I cannot trust Amazon. I cannot trust eBay or any other online institution because their stuff can be hacked as well. So I trust nobody. I really don't trust nobody. So this is another step I take, is that's changing my credit cards up once a year. And that gives me a fresh start, and I limit the use of my credit cards because right now we are in the process of getting completely out of debt, completely debt free. Now, step number 3 that I take is I place limits on my banking ability. There's certain things that I won't allow my bank to do. I can block certain activities such as fund transfers unless I actually physically, personally go down into the bank and stand there in front of them and conduct my banking in person. Because they know me at my bank. I frequent the bank, they know who I am, and I deal with people who I'm familiar with and are familiar with me. So that's also advantageous, is just placing limits to what your banking accounts can limit you to do. Say, if somebody gets hold of your checking account number and they process a online check transfer thing, you limit that. Also, there's blocks, there's limits you can do, but it depends on your financial institution if they have that in place. Mine, it does, and I'm thankful for them that have that, so I utilize that other safety net, and then that was the third one. Number 4, and this one's becoming bigger and bigger, and that is deed theft. every month or so, I'll just go in and I'll type out I'll do a online search through different search engines of my physical street address. And if a deed is stolen and transferred into somebody else's name fraudulently, chances are they'll list your property for sale and the listing agency will put it out there on the market. You can tell if your deed is on the market, your property's on the market, just by first doing a online search of your address and seeing if your address is on the market. Here's an example of one that I just typed in. It shows it's off the market, so I'm not worried about it. Number 4 is you can check your county records. Some county records are online, so you can check county records and see property ownership online. You can sometimes even find a deed online. And I wonder if that's how some of these deeds are being stolen. But because all the information is available online. Well, if your deed is transferred fraudulently to somebody else, I contact my county immediately, and I also get a hold of an attorney, a real estate attorney, and try to correct it and fix it because it was obviously fraud and it's a crime. So I'll do all the checklists on reporting it, getting a case filed again, with the individual who shows up on the record. And it's easy to catch it if early on as it happens. So that's why I check this monthly. Sometimes I check it bi-monthly, which means I check it bi-weekly, every other week. So just to make sure, because there's a lot of deed theft out there. Also to see if there's any illegal liens against my property. Somebody would come up and put a lien or even get a loan in my name for solar, and nobody's ever looked at it or even been here to install solar. But there's a company out of California that is giving money to a person who has a company who says they put solar in, so they opened a credit account from that business in California, got the money to install solar, but they've never been to the address. The person who owns the address is now on the hook for this bill that they loaned money to get solar installed. They don't have solar panels, and they don't have, there's that kind of fraud going on too. So you just got to really be on top of it and check, cover your butt. Just cover your butt. So check your county records to make sure you don't have any liens, and then also check your deed to make sure it's protected. It's still in your name. And 6, my final one, and this is a fraud that's been going on too, is check your state's DMV records. Are your vehicles still in your name, registered in your name, or did the title get stolen and changed over without your knowledge? Also check to see if there's any illegal, unlawful, or fraudulent liens against your car or any of your motor vehicles. And that should show up in your motor vehicle records. Most states have them online. So just protect yourself and check that out to see if that's what you need to do. So that's my homestead hack of trying to eliminate hacking and fraud and theft and loss. Yeah, those are the steps I've been taking for some years now. Fingers crossed, hopefully it never happens. I had one financial institution try to get me, and a credit reporting bureau. Now, if a credit bureau calls you or sends you a letter that they have to, you owe them money. If you know you've never done business with a company that they claim you owe, then you can take steps and file that same thing is contest. You do it in writing. file a letter of contesting the validity of that claim against you personally, because they have to prove that you are the one responsible for the debt. They have to provide a signature that is not fraud, because sometimes they come up with documents that your signature was, it's not your signature, but somebody used your name and wrote not in your handwriting. Yeah, sometimes that happens. So I had to sue a multinational banking corporation and a credit bureau for trying to harass me for money for something that somebody else owed. And it wasn't even mine, and they had no record of proof that I was even liable or responsible for that debt. So I got money in the pocket. I was able to, buy something of significance from the outcome of that, their faux pas. Anyway, I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, or a frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. Please stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing and clicking that bell icon that alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Give us a thumbs up, click that share button. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms helps us out. Hopefully this helps you guys, gets you some heads up and some tips to protect yourself in light of this big, huge, mega data breach that has just happened. Be safe, always be kind. I'll see you guys in my next adventure. Bye-bye now.